throughout the country are places hidden away, unknown to many, waiting silently for their secrets to be revealed. This is one such place, the Devil's Bridge. The lane over which the bridge crosses follows the route of an old Roman road, which was later dug out and lowered in the 1700s by Francis Egerton, the 3rd Duke of Bridgewater, for use as a carriageway leading up to Ashridge House. It's said that he had the road lowered to conceal the lady of the house from view of peasants working in the surrounding fields. The actual purpose of the bridge and its reasoning for being placed here is unknown, although it's been speculated it was constructed to settle a land dispute from many moons ago. Today, both the bridge and trackway serve no real purpose and have both been seemingly left for nature to reclaim. Sitting along the aptly named Spooky Lane, it's no wonder that this area is today said to be haunted. One ghost thought to frequent here is that of a lone Roman centurion who's been seen standing to attention, supposedly guarding the old road. A hooded monk has also been seen along here, silently walking the road towards a long-forgotten monastery.
People walking through here, especially in the evening or late at night, have reported seeing flashes of red light coming from both the bushes and the trees that flank the road. Dogs are also said to act strangely whilst walking through here, almost as if they can see or hear something that we can't.
Local folklore states that the bridge has been the site of witchcraft and occult rituals for many years, hence its name referencing the devil. Whether these stories are to be believed is unknown, however some locals firmly believe that people still frequent the site late at night to partake in these practices, adding another layer of mystique to this foreboding location.
So look, just the camera. So what is it that supposedly makes this place so haunted?
So there's been a long tradition of apparent witchcraft, occult stuff going on here. I don't know how much to believe into that. It's obviously got the name the Devil's Bridge from somewhere. I wonder if it's just because we've just experienced walking down here at night. It's a
spooky.
Spooky place. So I wonder if that's where the name the Devil's Bridge really has come from, rather than any kind of witchcraft stuff going on here. People have seen red lights dotting around here. Interestingly, there's no red lights around here. Sometimes we've been places and there'll be like a telegraph mast in the background or in the horizon, and you could say, well, maybe your eyes are just have seen a red light and then imprints somewhere else.
Well, the fact that you're dropped down in a valley.
Yeah, so there's no red
means
lights
that's more
around here. So
difficult.
that's a really interesting kind of thing that people have supposedly experienced here. There's been dogs act strangely here. There's been a lot of different experiences. Not anything concrete yet. I know there's been a few investigations performed here by various different people, but there's not been anything sort of concrete as to what is haunting here at the moment. But we might be able to shine some light on that. Something I did want to try tonight is this new piece of equipment we've got. It's basically an EM pump, but on steroids. It pumps out an extremely strong electric field. I'll just demonstrate it down here. If I turn it on now, I've got a K2 meter, you can see the field is pumping out. But it'll be able to light an LED light bulb.
No.
Wow. Just with the energy that's coming out of that.
That's crazy. What does that do to the human body then?
You all want to know. The idea being, if we place an EMF detector down,
Yeah.
if we then disrupt the field coming off of that, which I'm going to do here,
Oh.
as you can see, the EMF detector reacts to it. So we're going to turn this on for, I don't know, I reckon if we give it sort of 10 minutes at some point.
Just to fill the space.
Just to fill the space, and then also see if there's any effect on the EMF detectors, which would mean something around this field that's being generated is being disrupted. So I think that'd be an interesting experiment to try a bit later on.
Definitely.
There we go.
We also proceeded to set up a REM pod at one end of the bridge, and after acclimatising ourselves to the location for about 20 minutes, we got our investigation underway. Is there anybody here with us?
My eyes keep playing like mad tricks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's because it is so dark and obviously you can slightly see the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, but I keep seeing like shadows and things, but it's like, when I look with the torch, I'm like, there's nothing there,
Yeah.
but a tree and...
I've had a few of those where I've looked up and thought I've seen something,
Yeah.
and then it turns out to be a shape or something, like in the trees
There's
or...
a spider just crawling in front of those leaves. You can hear stuff falling through the
It's an
trees.
unusual place, isn't
It
it?
sounds like someone's walking across the top there. Can you hear it?
Yeah. Might be an animal. Is that the kissing gate?
Is that someone?
Yeah, that's a person. Call out.
No.
No, because if it's a real person.
We'll let them find out.
No.
The kissing gate goes down that way.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like. Shh, shh, shh.
Oh, I think they're walking down that way.
I thought if it was a person, we'd have heard like talking.
We've seen a torch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair point. How are they walking that way with no torch?
Literally. Wouldn't catch me doing that.
There's no torches in the bushes at all.
That's weird. Just say hello.
Hello?
Right.
That couldn't have been more horror film-esque if you
I mean, that was a direct response, was it not? That's been sat there for 5 minutes.
the whole time for all of that and talking away.
We were certainly perplexed by the sound of the gate opening above us, followed by the sound of walking, no torchlights or visible signs of a living person to be seen. Looking at a map of the area, the village of Firthston and the pub are about 1/3 of a mile to the south of the bridge, and following the track up the hill is a small campsite, also just under 1/3 of a mile away as the crow flies. Down the hill, in the direction the footsteps appear to be walking, is the village of Nettledon, the closest houses from which being a mere 70 metres away, and in fact dogs in the gardens of these houses could actually be heard barking at the time. There is a footpath on either side of the Roman road, which is where the sound of the footsteps seem to be coming from. What's interesting is that the footpath is fenced off on either side, leaving the only exit at the bottom of the lane. And looking at a street view, anyone exiting this would have to walk across the lane, blocking the clearly visible streetlights from the village, something that we did not see happen at the time. This, combined with the lack of torchlight and the fact that the footsteps just suddenly stopped, lead us to believe that this wasn't a person, and certainly the REM pod triggering moments after this made these events even stranger.
That's weird.
There's so many little
It's like rustling in the leaves and things falling from the trees and...
I mean, you see
So
things
much
from the
background
trees, but
sound.
where?
Well, from like the trees up top onto the embankment. Is that right?
So we've walked down that way and it's set off. It's set off. Is it if we try and like leave the bridge?
Try and leave again, see if it goes off again. Is it like trying to get our attention to come back?
That's what I'm wondering. The thing is now we said that out loud, will it know what we're doing? light of anyone down the bottom of it.
No.
No.
I think that was an animal coming through the gate, you know.
No.
It sounded like a person.
It was like footsteps going on.
It wasn't until you said there's no torchlight that I thought, well, how is someone able to navigate this
Yeah.
with no torch?
I would say, if you look up there, it is.
Well, we walked it. It's very overgrown, very thin.
Yeah, but James, look at the same. They've come from up there. They've got the same tree cover as we have down there.
How do we not hear them come downhill?
This
Unless
is
they
it.
came from the field, I don't.
You can't come from the field, it's private land.
Yeah, but how do we know they're not from there?
Look, if I turn the infrared off. Okay, so this side, you can't really see it. You can see a little bit of blue sky.
I tried to shut on mine. There is a bit of sky, but
From that side, it's pitch black up there. The tree cover's too thick, you can't see anything.
Leaves again.
did you notice as well? As soon as I asked hello, the dogs started barking over there. That went on.
Yeah, that was from the house down there, I think.
Yeah, but is the house down there going to be able to hear me say hello here?
I mean, maybe switch that to the other side, just for a bit, for argument's sake.
Hmm.
It wouldn't be the device going nutty, would it?
I don't know. I know we could believe in that, but I just want to. Do you know what I mean?
There's not any reason why it should be especially going off in that corner.
I'm going to turn it off for now. Because if we get stuff, I want to put in the EM pump. There's energy here.
Yeah.
Give it more.
I don't know about that.
We've got an instrument down there on the floor that's pumping out a lot of energy. If you want to take some of that, it enables you to do something.
That was very strange. The fact they didn't, if that was a burst, they didn't even like wonder about what was going on. They didn't say hello. There was no torchlight.
No.
There was no sound of them. Really.
You shouted hello and no reply.
Well, I thought just before that, when I said it sounded like someone's walking down from this side, but even thinking back, it didn't sound like steps. It just sounded like all the movement noises. But then that
gate.
gate is over there.
Yeah.
You would have to cross that. Like we would have heard like maybe some kind of noise on the bridge above.
Yeah. Can you move around that instrument we've placed down with the blue light on? Can you walk around that or move around that very, very close to it? Hopefully it's a way that will let us visually see that you're there on some of our equipment.
I heard something behind you then.
Yeah, I heard it.
What did you hear?
Like shuffling.
I was going to say a foot.
Yeah, I heard that as well. But no one there. Something interesting. Obviously, dogs are supposedly acting strange when they're walking through here. And I wondered if they're hearing or seeing stuff that we can't.
Well, they say that about animals, specifically dogs anyway, is that they often see... It's like when you see... They're probably not legit,
Yeah.
but when you see a video online, the dog will react to something before it happens. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the dog will all of a sudden jump out of the way and then something will fall. So that I think
But-
it's well known that dogs...
More to the point of what have we got that we can hear that we can't?
What?
What have we got? That wasn't proper English. What have we got in our kit bag
that lets us hear what we are the
Oh,
The bat
finally, the one thing that he is obsessed with.
Glorious sound.
It's probably me.
Booming noise.
I wondered how far away. Do you remember I said to you at the bottom of that road, the other side of that bit, I think is an A road, but I wonder if it's like a lorry going across the A road.
Thinking any time we hear those little noises from stuff, I'll aim it towards the noise. Wait to hear. Can you make a noise to show us where you are? I'm talking.
Yeah, me too. That's that gate again. This touch. Okay, right, so that's definitely people.
What are they talking about?
Oh, shit service at the pub.
I'll never get on that.
Yeah, you know what's interesting though? Compared to what we heard earlier, how much louder was that?
There was voices, there was torch, there was
Because he torchlight.
all the way down there.
Yeah.
Whereas what we heard earlier just sounded like a gate move and then just someone trudging along and then just stopped.
And interestingly, there was no lead up to the gate.
No, it's just the gate. This time we heard voices.
Talking, walking, gate, then. And look, you can still see them down
Yeah,
there.
even if it was someone on their own, where's the... how can they see?
Is that a torchlight up there? Is that the moon? Yeah, look. Down there. God, imagine if they turn around and had a look.
But look how much more of a ruckus they made than
The other guys.
what we had earlier. And then the hello, and that went off.
Yeah. People?
I don't know.
Is that singing?
Is it the pub?
I can hear it.
It's about behind us. Is it someone walking down listening to music?
Yeah.
I couldn't hear it, man.
Did you not?
It was so loud.
I couldn't hear anything.
It was like like the sound was like reverberating.
100% sounds
It,
like
it
music.
it sounded like someone was listening to, like there was a live band playing at a pub, but just a person singing. But then we would still hear that, sure. And the pub's a ways away.
And you heard nothing?
I couldn't hear anything there.
There was
I heard,
definitely.
100%.
I heard what I thought you were on about, but then it turns out it was just a car driving down there. But then
No.
that disappeared, that sound, and you still said you could hear what you were
Yeah.
hearing.
100%.
I thought someone was going to be
Music or
walking
something, yeah.
along the top of the speaker.
Or like something, you know, sometimes in town, at home, you get where they ride their bikes and they've got like a speaker attached to the bike.
Yeah.
I thought it was like
I
that.
couldn't hear anything like that. Strange.
Is that REM pod set up?
Not yet. I want to get some photographs first, just to see
Hmm.
what's up.
Oh, there's a light, there's a light, there's a light.
It's the car.
No, it's not. It's a person walking up here, isn't it?
No, it's a car. But they can absolutely see us.
What, is a car coming up here?
No, just don't move. They're turning into that house. They're not coming up here, are they?
Yeah.
Fuck off. Get the stuff out of the way.
Let's get one. What the fuck is going on?
Shit like that.
It's a bit of a squeeze, isn't it?
Smell that?
Fucking razors, isn't it?
Yeah. Fucking ganja.
I don't know if they'll get up there.
Probably not, but that's what they're in a golf for.
They ain't going to get through that foresty bit, are they?
I don't
Where all
know.
the trees are
Like,
overgrown.
maybe they're regulars around here. This is where they come to Bonner Zoo and we rub their spot. I felt... I don't know, maybe we should head back to the car. Because I don't want to...
Give it a little bit longer. I feel like I'm taking all the pictures I wanted to.
Why is it coming?
Why the fuck? I mean, you could instantly smell the cannabis as soon as...
Maybe
they
that's
walk
why.
past.
Maybe they're high off the tits. That's why they're driving up here. But yeah, how are they going to get up the top? Is it?
Where they're
Shh,
just
shh,
driven
shh.
up there.
This car stopped.
I'd say they've stopped at where your car's parked, or just before it. Or they've realised they can't fit.
I don't think they'd fit up there.
But how are we going to get past if they're blocking the way?
So to walk past them, won't we?
Being slightly concerned with our car being parked up alone at the top of the hill, the same direction that the off-road hatchback was heading, just after 11 PM, we ended our investigation.
Bit of a weird one. I mean, the bridge itself, is definitely, there's something there that I can't understand or explain. But it's just such a weird location. And then to have like a car with 4 people coming through it, it's just weird. I don't know, maybe if we are this way again in the future, we can come back to it, but yeah.
This is an odd one. It does make you wonder about the first sounds of people. What was going on with that as well? If that was a person, or it was just the gate, or what that was.
Yeah, I think that first person we heard when the gate opened and we heard footsteps walking through, then it just stopped all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like there was no trailing off of it.
No
just
torch,
stopped.
nothing.
The fact there's no torch light, doesn't make sense to me because there's no way anyone could see through there with the lighting we had.
No.
And then we heard people go through again, and you could clearly see a torch light.
Mhm.
You could hear them talking, and they were a lot louder as they were
Yeah.
walking.
But didn't the gate go a third time as well? And it was like the
No,
first.
We heard
Heard footsteps
walking,
up to it,
but the gate never
but that could have then
opened.
been an animal.
Yeah.
So yeah, really weird, odd place. And they made it even odder by the appearance of the Volkswagen Golf.
Which there's now no trace of. What a weird cut through. I mean, unless they live at the farmhouse that is miles at the bottom or to the left. I
Then
don't
why
know.
wouldn't you come up this side with the road?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? Unless it was a ghost car.
Maybe it was a ghost. Alright, and with that, Shadow Paranormal out.